Hazard, good buddy Fletch, VK3. How you doing?
Good.
Alright,
As always.
let's get going. It's free time, XCW Freetime interviews.
I'm pretty excited that I'm actually in these because I've orchestrated all of them. So, pretty excited to be in my own.
Okay, you created XCW, you and Genocide, 2003. Who was your favorite XCW superstar to watch?
I actually like watching evolving stars. I like to see people come through the ranks. Corey Lee's a good example of that. Started in the cruiserweight and slowly worked his way up. I mean, not taking away anything like Dylan Bostic, who came right into the XCW and was the first XCW champion. I don't want to take anything away from wrestlers like that. But I love seeing characters evolve. You know, people are camera shy at first, or, you know, like Colton Kravitz, you can tell was really shy around camera. And a lot of people, even Emily herself, been camera shy for most of her time. Right. But after a while, you forget this is even there. And then you just, wrestlers evolve. And personally, favorite stars to watch was always Chris Jones, obviously. He could tell a story in the ring like no one else. Tommy Merriman was another one I loved to watch because you never knew what to expect. He was really flashy and original. Cynical is the same as Tommy Merriman. I often say that Tommy kind of replaced Cynical in Cynical's absence, and yourself included. And like I said, Vapor, Genocide, all the wrestlers who have evolved with the show itself.
Okay, there's a lot of big names there. But who do you like to work with?
I like smooth wrestlers, but I also like to, you know, get in there and toss around a new guy. Obviously, I've had some pretty, no pun intended, untouchable matches with Chris Jones. Obviously, probably the best one for me, myself personally, to work with. But my most, when it comes to knockdown, drag out matches that I've had in my career, that I've most worked with would be Chris Jones and Hazard.
Okay. Flattered by that because Fletch has always been one of my biggest feuds, him and Chris Jones. So, like you said, you and Chris Jones had some pretty untouchable matches. In your opinion, what is the best show in XCW history?
There's a lot that stand out. Most of these, most of the shows that are up there in maybe a top 10 rank, you and I both agree on. Grief in 2005, although we lost that show, and none of us owned the show. That was a pretty amazing show. SummerMania 3, SummerMania 6, anything SummerMania pretty much definitely stood out.
Stamp.
Yes, definitely. I'm also a big fan, this one may be a little weird, but X-Rated 2005 was another, even although I had the Chain to Channel match in it, and it's one of the longest XCW shows in history, and it was an interesting show. It's a good one.
Okay. Now, this question really, I can't really ask you. So I'm going to do the same thing I did with Genocide. XCW, you're founding father of XCW. Explain to me the progression of getting XCW to start.
Like Genocide said in his, we came together, him and myself and Dylan Bostic, came together. Genocide and I were unhappy with the way that things were going. Justin Parsons BYWE. Of course, I was the brainchild of the whole thing. Came to Genocide. I'm like, hey, I've done it in the past. I've had my own wrestling company before XCW. And pretty much, I wanted to bring it back. I wanted to be in charge again, and I wanted to show Justin Parsley what a real show could do. He was I've talked to him recently, strangely enough, and he's even admitted it to himself that I've called him this in the past, and that is that he's a selfish operator. And that's something I think that I've given everyone that I'm definitely not. Fair and equal opportunity to everyone. I just think that's the way it should be, and a common bond between Genocide and myself brought the XCW to all together, Dome Bostic. We all just created what is now XCW.
Okay. We went from the best show. What was the worst show in XCW history?
Well, obviously, State Street. State Street was probably... It was, good lord. It's the EBW of XCW, that one show itself. You can tell that there was not a... I was not pleased in the show myself. You can just tell it was not my day. We've had plenty of shows, bad things happen. We've had a lot of wrestlers that were absent, not at shows, or, whatever. That one definitely stands out as the worst, in my opinion. I also wasn't a very big fan of the 2006 season in itself. Maybe not so much the ST1. The rest of the season was mild to best.
Okay. You've seen it all. Been here since day one. You've not missed a show. What was the biggest moment in XCW history?
I'm gonna say Halloween Havoc 2003. And that maybe go for something kind of different. It's kind of the turning point of the show. Turning point of XCW. It was a time where the company started on 8 wrestlers. And 2003's Halloween Havoc was the debut of you. And it really showed that the show was starting to evolve. By our next show, we didn't have Breakdown and Living Dangerously like we do now after Halloween Havoc. We went, or Viewer's Choice for that matter, went straight to X-Rated the next season. And X-Rated the next season seen the debuts of Cynical and just all these amazing talents. We went from the 8, 9 wrestlers of the 2003 season to X-Rated and the 24 to 25. So to me, that was a big turning point in XW's history.
Okay. You answered both of them. So, we'll go into the next one. What is the worst injury you've sustained in XCW?
That one's pretty apparent. Obviously, I've had a lot of concussions. More than I'm allowed to have, honestly. Doctors have even told me I shouldn't be doing this. No more headshots. I could wake up one day, Quasimodo, never speak right. My right side could be damaged. In 2007, I was diagnosed with Bell's palsy due to the headshots and stress, and obviously seeing from behind the scenes everything that I do for the show. Definitely a stressful job. The chair shot to the head from Genocide was probably the worst injury sustained. But it definitely coexists with, it coincides with all the other injuries to the head over the years.
It was a startup, pretty much.
Yeah. My first concussion, I was tossed out of the ring by you. But, I've had countless injuries, so I got busted in the nose really bad, broke my nose in 2003, Nick Klaus hit me with the Cruiserweight Championship. So, but yeah, headshot.
What is the worst injury you've ever witnessed?
Mine itself was pretty bad, although I didn't get to witness it much, other than what I've seen on tape, which is pretty bad. Obviously Chris Jones stands out. It is one of the worst things I've ever seen, which is my fault.
It is, but it ain't.
Right.
You're just throwing it.
Yeah.
He's the one that turned into it.
I've seen Cynical's pinky nail get ripped off. That was pretty gross. His finger getting caught. Worst though, definitely Chris Jones. Bar none.
Okay. You've been XCW. You live, breathe, die XCW. But has there been a time where you wanted to give up on XCW and just call it quits?
Probably 6 or 7 times a season. In the early days of XCW, never. First 3 seasons of XCW were just an amazing ride, awesome time. 2006, like I said earlier, was a rough year. And actually, 2006 season was when I hit Chris with the light bulb. I took an absence from XCW until X-Rated of 07. Things were bad in my personal relationship with Emily. Things were just getting back to normal between the two of us. Cynical apparently is one of my best friends of all time. Pursuing other interests at the time. It was kind of the time of us all growing up. And we were all starting to do separate things, or trying to patch up what was something else. So, there was a time there where it was almost time to pack it up. I also was an independent referee for 3 years. 2007 was frustrating. Came back for 3 shows, got shut down, and then the location we were at, and that was hurtful. And we were down and out with nowhere to go. So in 2008, we came up with the idea for the farewell show as a goodbye to the XCW, and it just rekindled a new fire. And since that farewell show, honestly, the thought of quitting doesn't come up unless it's the end of the season. Is there going to be a next season?
Okay.
Typically, yes.
Okay. You've seen it all. You've wrote it all. You've given people the gimmick. In your opinion, what is the worst gimmick ever?
Obviously, Captain Crook. That was actually not mine. That was kind of Cynical's idea. Bad idea. A character based off of a crooked eye. To be honest. Swap Man. That was a stupid move by me. Who doesn't know that it's not genocide? With a SWAT vest on. It's entertaining though. I'll give it that. Phantom. Phantom was a horrible gimmick. Something that I let the inmates run the asylum. He had too much credit for his own character. I should have never let him be anything but MILF Hunter. And Nemesis, I've heard a lot of people say that. And honestly, Nemesis had a wonderful character, and it was actually originally going to be mine. It was himself personally who couldn't portray this character. But honestly, in backyard wrestling history, the worst is Mel Mall. That's the worst gimmick ever. There's nothing that XCW's ever produced that is as bad as that. Good job, Justin. Damn it.
Okay, we'll go from worst to best.
Best gimmick, Brother Jones was a little interesting to me. I loved Brother Jones' gimmick. It was a fresh look at Chris. Something we definitely needed. Cynical's kind of absent-minded character. Obviously, Grim Reaper and Joker and LOL, all three. Whether it was Ace High or Hispanic Chronic, awesome. Honestly, my favorite gimmick of all time was not necessarily one individual person, it was a group. I loved the Canadian Army. It was just an interesting concept altogether.
Okay. Been in this for many years. What do you do to prepare for a match?
Well, I've heard some unique answers with this. Psychor doesn't have sex. You pray. James Cerebral jumps around like a banshee. I run around like a chicken with his head cut off, because obviously the show is produced by me. So I don't have time to prepare for a match.
Okay.
To be honest.
Okay. Don't have time to prepare. Do you have any pre-match rituals?
Making sure that whoever the asshole is I'm going out there with knows what they're doing. Basically, I don't want to come back for the match with somebody dragging me by my shoelace because I can't fucking move. So, I mean, that's what it comes down to.
That's funny. Oh man, you have been wrestled many people, been given many chops. Who gives you the worst chop?
Devil? Devil's pretty bad, especially since he lights it on fire. The hardest chop I've ever received was Genocide, but maybe not for a normal reason. Genocide has this combination chop. Punch, chop, punch, chop. Well, every time, he is the stiffest bastard I've ever wrestled, and it's only me. I mean, I've watched a million Genocide matches, and he does not do what he does to me, to anyone else. Every single time he back chopped me, he busted me in the fucking chin. Every single time. So, definitely Genocide.
Okay. That's kind of awkward. But, you've wrestled many people, taken many finishing moves. You've given the one that's mostly said, Suicide Effect. What's the best finishing move?
I honestly like the Van Driver a lot. Even though Nathan's a flake. Big fan of the FML. Sinometry was unique. Not only, I mean, it was a version of a Death Valley driver that I've never seen before. He could get somebody on their shoulders and, like your FU, just up and over. A Death Valley driver is that, up and over with a bump. But Cynical's was unique. He'd get him up on his shoulders, he would stall him out, and then bump. Sinometry, one of my favorites. All in all, two top best to answer to that question. Satan's Dream and Suicide Effect.
Okay. Satan's Dream, never personally had to take it. Hope I never do.
Yeah.
Suicide Effect, you just can't get my fat ass up, so.
That's right.
Okay.
Let's be blunt here. We can be honest.
Okay. I've known you a long time. I know you love watching wrestling. What pro wrestler influenced you?
This is strange. I have a lot of favorites. I love Stone Cold. I love Kurt Angle. And though those guys influenced me, my most influence was Bubba Ray Dudley. Thought he's one of him and Bam Bam Bigelow were like the greatest big men wrestlers ever. Obviously, I'm a big man wrestler, so those were two of my top favorites. And I look at myself as if I had money with my smarts, I would be Paul Heyman and Vince McMahon put together. Biggest influences, which is why I run the company. I have those kind of smarts. But Bubba Ray Dudley, Bam Bam, bigger style wrestlers, Vader, with a Vince McMahon, Shane McMahon.
Okay.
Kind of unique.
Now you've been in every kind of match you can think of. You've been in the death match with me. You've been in the Money in the Banks. You've been in the King of the Mountain. You've been in Extreme Rules tables.
That's right.
What's your favorite concept match?
Deathmatch, obviously, just don't like to be in it much. Don't really know what to expect. I've become a very big fan of flaming table matches. I'm the only one that's ever been in a flaming table match. There's never been a flaming table without me in it. Ironic. Honestly, who doesn't love a good old classic
Battle Royals are fun. I love Battle Royals.
So, Extreme King.
Okay. Being in all those matches and everything that you've done, what's the hardest weapon shot you've received to date?
Stick from Hazard, Deathmatch 3, or Deathmatch 2 from SummerMania 3. No doubt about it.
You just hate them.
Yeah. The ladder shot was kind of hurtful too. Not gonna lie.
We put each other through hell.
The kendo stick was far beyond the chair shot from Genocide. No doubt. You know how to line that thing up. Perfect. Hit it right on the tip. Sucks.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you two different kind of versions of this question. Okay, first one. Okay, I'll actually make it two parts. First part, where do you see yourself in 6 months? And where do you see XCW in 6 months?
They kind of coincide, actually. Because what's XCW is me, what's me is XCW. They go hand in hand, obviously. 6 months, I see the XCW still on top of the world, doing what it does best. We'll be gearing up for SummerMania around that time. So things will be in high intensity mode at the time. For myself, being in the show, average. Maybe getting ready for the King of the Mountain, or I obviously spend a lot of time in the mid card. Which is nothing bad. I love seeing people evolve, like I said. But the company, bigger and better than ever, with the best wrestlers and the best season that's ever happened.
Right on.
So many people here in the XCW now who are just completely passionate about the show.
Okay. You've seen it all. And right now, in your opinion, who's the fastest rising star?
James Cerebral. James Cerebral is a fast rising star, for sure. I would say Corey Lee, but he's already done this. He's already rised way above any expectation from 3 years ago. But definitely James Cerebral and Carnage. Carnage needs a little work. He's fastly moving up. Max Destruction. Just to name a few. Most of all, I would say James Cerebral, honestly.
Okay. There's a lot out there. You got a lot of nicknames out there. You got the Dark Angel. You got the Untamable. You got your Mr. 187. And for you, who was your favorite prefix nickname?
I still have to say the Dark Angel Nightmare. Dark Angel is just, it's kind of like, it's where, it's a fine line where good and evil meet. An angel, a dark angel, is unique. That one stands out above all else. A simple put one would be Tommy the Man Merriman, because he's simply the man. And in his short reign on top of the XCW, I mean that man has been in plenty of main event matches and has never held an XCW championship. Just proves right there that he is the man.
Okay. Now, in your opinion, who deserves to be in the Hall of Fame that's not already in the Hall of Fame?
DTC is not in the Hall of Fame. DTC was in the 2003 season. He was 04 or 5 or 6, you know, all the way up. And he's still not in XCW Hall of Fame. Shocking. That is absolutely shocking. That DTC is not a part of that group. Not taking nothing away from Zero, but Zero being in the Hall of Fame for DTC is almost tragic. Not by skill by any means, because Zero deserves it. He was an amazing wrestler. But DTC's one main person that deserves to be in the Hall of Fame that really stands out to me. So most likely him.
Okay. Now, in your XCW career, you've had many entrance themes.
Oh yeah.
You've had Cocky, What Comes Around, Stand Up, Disciple. Which entrance theme gets you the most pumped, gets you ready to go out there and just kick somebody's ass?
There's two on the top. Actually, I'll give you the top two. Number two is a tie between What Comes Around and I Am, the VK2 theme. But honestly, I'm loving me some Disciple right now.
Well, very good song. What makes it even better, it's Christian. You know?
A little bit of religion in me, I guess.
Okay, this right here, you've done it both. Heel or face?
Heel. There's just something in me, I guess, seeing Vince McMahon do it so many times. Well, it's just the way to be. But it's apparent with my ring style and my character. Face is the best fit for me. But my short reign as a heel, I thought was one of the most dominant heel reigns in XCW history. So I absolutely love being hated, but it also put me in a dark place. So, never say never.
There's a lot of Justin Bieber songs. What do I know that? But you always, you're just always there. Your character, you don't, if you ever were, you never show it. Were you ever camera shy?
Was I ever camera shy? Hell no. I know almost every single person that's been on this show has openly admitted that they were camera shy. I can openly say I am a camera hog. I eat up that camera time. I love it. And I've even said this a lot lately. I'm an entertainer. Something that I absolutely love to do. I'm an entertainer. So I love the camera.
Okay. Obviously, I know this. A lot of the people that watch this will know this. You've been in the business a long time.
Yeah.
And I don't even know I'm going to ask this. Do you have any previous wrestling to XCW?
BPW I owned in 1998. February 98. Started it myself in DTC. And we had this wrestler named Dustin Destruction. We had a few others. Porky. You know Porky. He was in BPW 1998. Zero. Didn't go by Zero at the time. I actually kind of started out as a role play kind of company. Zero had no problem coming out as Shawn Michaels. Set up kind of like how XW's 04 season was set up. Shed for the entrance, ramp on it. BPW stood for Backyard Porch Wrestling. I owned the Backyard Porch Wrestling. Was a part of that until around 2001. Moved away from that location. Started wrestling BYWE 2002. By September 2002, XCW started to come together. By March, it was up and running. So, yeah, a little bit, I think.
Okay. Do you have any training prior to XCW?
Not prior. Had it during our time in XCW. My uncle was a referee at New Era Wrestling. Had a lot of formal training there. But prior to XCW, no. Not anything that I didn't just myself, honestly. Which is how most of us old timers did it anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Been a lot of teams. You being in some of the biggest. Whether it be in Shelbyville Heat, VK2, VK3. What was the best team in XCW history?
The Untouchables have to rank up there. Probably the main one, just because of their dominance and even in such a short time. October 2011 is when the team really came together. And they completely destroyed the entire end of the 2011 season. Canadian Army was always one of my personal favorites. And I'm pretty sure nobody can argue with VK2.
VK2, probably the biggest name in XCW. Okay, you, very boisterous in your opinions. We know if you don't like somebody, who do you personally not like?
Don't like Gratitude.
Try to get you in the car.
I do not like MILF Hunter. Those are two main names that really stand out. People I dislike. Most of all, even though we've tried to patch up things lately, Justin Parsley. Person I most dislike.
Okay, you've wrote it all. But while you're sitting there writing, what storyline has stuck out to you the most?
Like Corley said, anything that had to do with Tom Merriman. Tommy really took storylines and promos to an all new height. Biggest storyline I would have to say of all time. One feud coincides with another. VK2 and MPG. Which, kind of a spin-off of that would be Christian and Cynical. It's like the longest reigning feud in XCW. So those all stand out a lot.
Okay, I can almost kind of see where we're going to go with this one. Best feud.
Obviously VK2 and MPG, Christians and Cynical. There was a really interesting feud between now VK3 and the Untouchables.
Cat. I tell you what, man.
I'm sorry, I know I let my cat sleep in my studio.
It's your cat?
It is. He's a good boy. Tommy Merriman, Chris Jones, epic. Fletch, Hazard. No matter what. Either whether it was over beating up Emily or burning my 401k papers or me interfering in your party or whatever the storyline may be, me tapping you, you bump, which people still don't understand, and I like that. No matter what it was, there's been quite a few. Right now, hottest thing, VK3 and Untouchables. Of all time, VK2 MPG. And probably me and you.
Okay, I can't stress this enough with you. You've seen it and done it all here. and you've been to every location. But what was the best location XCW's ever held?
There's been many greats. Southwest Street, the trailer park, Four Seasons, and now, all great, awesome. Honestly, right now I'm loving. Washington Street was another great one. Eddie Chastain's, but right now it's a good place to be.
Very good.
Very calm.
Yes. Okay. You've been this for a long time. What kind of legacy do you think the Fletch will leave behind?
I think a lot of the legacy I'm going to leave behind won't be necessarily me itself. It's going to be more of, people are not going to say, oh, that, you know, that's the legacy Fletch left behind, because the legacy that I left behind is this altogether. The XCW is my legacy, I think. And I know the next question is, what is the legacy XCW is going to leave behind? My legacy I leave behind is the XCW. And XCW's legacy it leaves behind is everyone who's ever been a part of it, who's ever become a star. Dylan Bostick's in the OVW now, works for TNA. He's been to FCW, worked for WWE. Things come out of this company. Great things. Great people, great workers, people who value wrestling and who love wrestling. So, just the legacy this company will leave behind is great. Like Jenna said, none superior to XCW. There may be more talented. I've seen some Aussie, some Australian backyard companies that just absolutely kick ass in wrestling talent, but who else can say the longest reigning backyard company ever? And Shelbyville has just been taken over pretty much. At some points, I even think New Era doesn't have anything on me.
Okay. Obviously, XCW has made a huge impact on your life. But explain that impact on your life.
I wake up in pain every day. I got a seriously injured ankle, left ankle. Plenty of concussions. I get a lot of headaches.
Chipped tooth.
It's just, and is it an impact on my life personally? I guess that kind of goes with what everybody else has said. A lot of great people I've met. Don't think that I would have this many friends, or, I mean, I may have this many friends, but maybe not with as much in common without the XCW. Huge impact.
Very true. Very true. Now, there's a lot of personal stuff that's came from XCW that you have. What has XCW done on a personal level for you?
It's entertained me. It's kept me busy. It's taken over my life in some ways. Personally, the things that have come out of it, probably Vapor. Been a great friend. You. Genocide. But most importantly, Emily. Emily's honestly the biggest thing that's probably come out. I did know Emily before XCW, but XCW is really what tied the knot in our now going on 7-year relationship.
That's almost longer than the XCW Live.
Yeah. So that's what's come out of the XW for me personally. And what an experience.
I almost know this next question's answer.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
So, what is your proudest XCW achievement?
It's kind of happened. Kind of hasn't happened. It'll happen on March 10th, 2012. The start of the 9th season. With each show, it gets better and better. With each season, it gets better and better. My proudest achievement is this company. And like I was saying, with each show and each season, it gets better and better. And every time it gets better, my proudest achievement is just that. Putting out the best quality product I possibly can.
That's where I thought you were going to go with it.
Surpasses my XW championships in all honesty.
Okay, next one, obviously Fletch is part of your real last name,
Yeah.
but what made you think to cut off the and just give you Fletch in your gimmick?
Not really sure. A lot of people ask me if it has anything to do with the Chevy Chase movie, and it does not.
Never actually seen that movie.
I've never seen this movie. But I've heard about it. I've heard it's a good movie. Never seen it. It has nothing to do with that. So obviously my name came from just that. I did almost change my name to Nemesis. I gave it to some other douchebag instead.
Douchebox.
Douchebag, douche nozzle, what have you. But that's apparently where my name came from. My gimmick is kind of, in some ways, my real personality. Amped up with a whole bunch of energy and anger at times. Frustration. I'm a perfectionist. I gotta have everything perfect. Like, damn it, this camera was not turning on until that sign was hung perfect. That's how it goes. So, all those things into one. My gimmick, though, is I'm kind of what my Kid Rock song said, cocky, confident, and I think I've kind of accidentally taken over Cynical's role as absent-minded lately.
I don't know what it is with me. My teammates seem to kind of go absent-minded. But you know what? I love every minute that I get to spend with Cynical and you, Genocide, and Vapor, you know. It's always fun to do that stuff. Okay, last question of the night. I know you. I've known you for many years. And what do you think about when people say wrestling is fake?
Are we ready for my 20-minute rants that you've heard a million times? I'm gonna help out Carnage a little bit because I have a feeling he hasn't done his. This is gonna be the last one of this, and I have a feeling I know one of the things he's gonna say. There's a quote by a great now TNA wrestler, Mr. Anderson, who said, "Wrestling's not fake. People are fake." I completely agree with that. You can't live through what we've lived through as wrestlers until you've actually done it yourself. Like they've all said before, there's no easy way to take a bump. There's no easy way to get hit with a chair. It happens. It's a hard business to get in, and it's an even harder business to get out of. I wouldn't have a bummed out ankle and head problems, neck problems, arm problems if it wasn't for wrestling and its fakeness. So those people who think it's fake, it's not. It's not exactly what you think it is. It's choreographed, painful shit. To be honest, there's nothing good that I can say about the people who, why do you watch that fake shit? I've heard it all my life. You truly have no idea. Just like True Life on MTV said, you don't really know. You just don't. But, I don't even have the words to describe the things that I want to tell those people.
I would like someone to. I'm sure there's people out there that, the big stars in this business, like the John Cena, and The Rock, and all that. I've heard that wrestling is fake. I would like to hear their opinions on what they tell people.
Absolutely.
But it's just one of those things. You can't fake, going out there and taking a bump through barbed wire.
Right. It's a stereotype. People stereotype a lot of things. Stereotype black people. People stereotype gays. And in the same respect, people stereotype wrestling. So it is what it is with people.
Alright. Well, Ben Hazard doing an XCW Freetime interview with my buddy Fletch, VK3 member, along with me. And I'll see you next time.